What's up everyone, it's Epictasticness here giving you guys my review of the latest Hercule Poirot adventure, A Haunting in Venice. This is the third movie in the Hercule Poirot series. It is a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. This is based on the book series by Agatha Christie, and this stars Kenneth Branagh, Tina Fey, Kyle Allen, Michelle Yeoh, and a bunch of other actors in this. And in this movie, we follow Belgian sleuth Hercule Poirot as he investigates a murder while attending a Halloween seance at a haunted palazzo in Venice, Italy. I'm a pretty big fan of these Hercule Poirot movies. I like them just as much as the Rian Johnson Knives Out movies. What I really love about this series of movies is that they go into different ways of doing stuff like this, but it does keep it interesting. And Murder on the Orient Express was one of my biggest surprises of 2017, and Death on the Nile was one of my favorite movies last year. And even though they did make this movie back last year after the last one came out, I was surprised when I saw the trailers, that because at first they made it think that this was not going to be part of the series. It was going to be like your usual typical horror movie. But having seen this movie now, this was actually definitely better than I could have thought of being. Again, it's not the greatest movie ever, but I will say of the three movies so far in this trilogy, or if they make a fourth one series, this is the best one. My second best one, right next to Death on the Nile. I still think that's my favorite one. Going into the pros of this movie is Kenneth Branagh once again as Hercule Poirot. He is very good in the role. Every time he puts on the fake mustache, he has a very fun time when it comes to the performance. And I think overall, his acting and his delivery makes it very fun and makes it really interesting once again. And his performance, I think, is fantastic. He has to show a lot of emotion as Poirot, but he's also having to investigate this Hallowe'en party that's going awry. And you do have your little creepy stuff going on here, but I thought for the most part, I really thought that it really worked very well. Also, his direction in this movie is very good. I like Kenneth Branagh as a director. Whether it's his remake of Cinderella I enjoyed, and his Frankenstein movie, which wasn't all that great, but I thought was okay-ish. And with these movies, also Jack Ryan's Shadow Crew, even though I'm one of the few people who actually kind of likes that movie, I think his direction here is really solid here. He has good direction here. He gets some great looking execution moments, and he executes the horror side of this well, while also keeping the mystery side of this very intact. And the movie is well paced too. It's an hour and 45 minutes. It goes by at a very fast pace, and I was interested in it. There are a few times where I feel like it could have used the extra 10 to 15 minutes, but I appreciate that this is a pretty short film. All of these Poirot movies are pretty short, honestly, and that's the thing I do like about this. They don't overstay their welcome as much as they should. I will also say the rest of the acting here, like Michelle Yeoh and Kelly Reilly and Jude Hill and Jamie Dornan and Tina Fey and Laird, all of the acting in this movie is also very good. Also, Kyle Allen is also really good. He's an actor that I've also really been interested in seeing here, and it is a supernatural thriller rather than being a full-fledged horror movie, because if this was a full-fledged horror movie, I don't think it would work the same with Poirot and this group of characters. Of the three, I will say these are my least favorite set of characters, but I still think overall they got moments where the actors could shine in their dialogue here. And I will also say from a cinematography standpoint by Harris Zicambarios, and music by Academy Award winner Hildur Guadagni, very good music here. The way she creates some of the jump scare music through instruments is really good, and a very good score here. It's a vastly paced edited film as well, so just not sitting there waiting for the mystery to be over. You're not sitting there waiting to be exhausted. or be bored, but you're into this mystery for a lot of it. You think that it's gonna go one route or it's gonna go the other route, but no, they actually take the time and make you feel like that someone is the actual killer. And when we get to the reveal, I definitely really love that side of the movie. And it's not more so scary, but you do get some good scares when it comes to the movie, and I do think the scares overall definitely gives you exactly what you want. For a September movie, I really expected this to be a lot worse, but I think overall, when it comes to the horror side of things, I'm just glad it's not jump scare galore every 5 minutes. They actually did try and have some supernatural aspects while also having the horror aspects of this. And I definitely really admire the fact that these movies are very good, decent sized budgets. This one is a $60 million budget, and it looks like a $60 million film, even with the small cast. It's showing you with budgets sometimes that less is more. Not everything needs to be high CGI such, but not everything needs to be so freaking cheap ass looking like The Asylum or something you would see on the Sci-Fi Network or Supergirl 1984. That is the worst case of using your budget very wrong. But it's a very good sized budget. If I do have any issues to say when it comes to A Haunting in Venice, as I said, the characters in this are not the strongest here as far as some of the side characters. They're not badly written or anything, they're very well acted. I just felt like they could have used a little bit more towards some of that good, better character writing as much as some of the others here. You have Michael Green, who has been a consistent writer for all of these movies, but I feel like you just need a little bit more screen time, 10 to 15 minutes, to give some of these side characters more things to do and give them more things to play on here. I will say the last issue, elephant in the room, is that I do feel like when you get to this middle part of it, it kind of slows down a little bit, but it's never really the point where it's boring or anything. It's just keeping you interested or anything. At the end of the day, I thought A Haunting in Venice is a pretty solid third entry into this Poirot trilogy or future franchise. Depending on how many Branagh wants to do, I would be interested to see more of it. It has some good atmosphere, some good performances, good direction, and it does take a use of its concept. It's not my favorite of these movies, but I will say it's definitely pretty interesting, and I definitely enjoyed what we got out of this. I would strongly recommend you guys go check it out this weekend. You will not regret it if you're looking for something a little bit horror related. And overall, I will give this one an Epictastic or highly recommend it. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. I will have my channel here, so you would like to see anything here, click the channel icon, subscribe for more. I will also leave a video and maybe a playlist here, so in case you want to see what I'm about. As always, stay Epictasticness, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.